What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Nerd on TV. We are live, here at Power Morphicon 2018. Here at the Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid tabletop game. Yep. And I'm incredibly excited. And I am joined by...
Danny Lowe. I'm the marketing manager for Renegade Game Studios, so we're the ones publishing Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid.
And I'm Jonathan Ying. I'm the game designer who designed the mechanics that go into this.
I want to go way back and to the beginning and ask you what inspired making this game?
Long ago in a distant land. I've been game designing for a few years now.
Okay.
I've worked on a couple of games before, but I had never worked on a cooperative game before.
Okay.
Right? Like I've made...
They can be very specific in a way.
They're real tricky, yeah. Like I've done like one versus many games, I've done fully competitive games, but designing a co-op game is one of the trickiest things because you have to make a system of like cards and dice that can behave in a way that is challenging to a group of human brains, right? So you have to create like all these systems to generate an interesting puzzle that can be as cool as playing with another person. Which is really hard and really scary. And, I never
Would
really...
you say that creating the characters was kind of the easy part in terms of their system, but this was the hardest part?
Generally, yeah. Making the challenging enemy system really took the most like trial and error and the most like work to try and make it interesting and exciting. And carry that all together, because like I've been sort of having this bugbear, like oh man, I love co-op games, right? I love Pandemic.
You're speaking to me.
I love Burgle Brothers. Like they are a huge part of my gaming life, but I'd never made one.
Yeah.
And I've always been like really paranoid about like I'd ask like Tim Powers who made Burgle Brothers, like how do you even do it? It's like it's really hard. And I'm like, oh good.
Oh good. I'm so excited.
Perfect.
Yeah, no,
this is gonna be fun.
So I'd never really like bit the bullet and done it, but then when Scott from Renegade, he came up to me and was like, so. What do you know about Power Rangers? And I was like, listen.
It's not what you think.
Yeah, I have opinions.
Yeah.
No, I have, and so I was super excited to get onto this project. And when we were talking it out, really like the best fit for the IP was co-op, right? Yeah. Because Rangers are all about like, they're almost cartoonishly wholesome. Yeah. Like they work together.
We have to work together.
Exactly. They eat their vegetables and they, teamwork.
Yeah.
We'll all get it together. God, I've been demoing all day. My throat's in an amazing state.
Totally fine.
Sorry, I get excited. So it seemed like a really good fit to build a co-op system out. Yeah. And we tried a couple of other ways, but Rita Repulsa is cool, but like putties aren't cool. Yeah. And so having someone control like a bunch of putties kind of feels a little... I mean, some people are into that. Some people are into that exact thing, yes.
You're too good at that. I have questions.
But generally, they're not like, they don't have the cachet of like the Doom demons or like stormtroopers. So
they're not terrifying,
right? Really. And so it was it felt like a good fit. Like, okay, you want to fight swarms of goofy clay dudes. Yeah. Let's make it co-op. Let's give it a shot. And that was
because a lot of them could be dangerous. It's kind of like zombies in Walking Dead. It's like one, you're like, all right, whatever. But you get a horde. You get a horde of putties.
It's like, oh, that could be bad. A problem. Yeah.
Yep.
No, and it's great. And they are like kind of creepy looking, really. Which is, And I mean, our sculptors really knocked it out of the park. We don't have any of the putty miniatures right here. Turns out we didn't want to model and print out 300 putty figures and ship them over. So like for the demo, we're just doing these. But the putty figures came out super nicely. I'm super excited about our sculptor.
You had mentioned at one point that the minis are a really exciting aspect of the game. And I mean, specifically, as we can see right here, we've got the Megazord. That's going to be kind of like it's just an add-on that you can purchase.
$30 add-on.
That's awesome. And then
my giant
you
robot
have
son.
Something special that you were telling me before that's never been done before with the Power Rangers.
Yep. We have this new add-on that we just announced this morning in a panel, and it's Cyclopsis. So it's another gigantic figure that can face...
Miniature, in quotes.
Yeah. A very large miniature. There's never been a representation of him.
Never been in the real world. Like, they've never done an action
he's such
figure.
a pivotal kind of enemy.
Yeah, he kicks the Megazord's butt. Like, it's crazy. And it was mind-blowing as a kid, right? Because it's like, the monsters would always just grow big and then box the Megazord, you know, and the Megazord would blow him up. But when like one of the monsters gets into his own giant fighting robot, it was like, it was kind of like the Green Ranger all over again when the Dragonzord showed up. We're really excited about Cyclopsis being in the game now. We're gonna give him a whole new, we're working on we're still cooking his module right now of how he's gonna work, but he's actually not gonna behave like any of the other monsters.
Okay.
He's gonna have a whole new combat, not really a completely different combat system.
It would be just a total surprise.
Yeah, but he's gonna be a very challenging and interesting thing to fight. And we're working on that right now, and I'm really excited about what we've got.
So this in front of us is a prototype.
Yep.
And we have a Kickstarter going currently.
Yeah.
Yes? And that's going until September 6th.
September 6th at 6 p.m. Pacific time.
Yep. And so far it's been incredibly successful.
Yes, it's been twice funded, so we're over 200K.
I believe it got funded in 8 hours.
No, 7.5. Not quite 8.
Yep, not 8. Of course not. 8 would have been way too much.
Yeah, that's not respectable at all. 7.5 though.
7.5. That's a nice round 7.5.
Yeah.
And so that's gonna, with the Kickstarter, you've got a lot of the expansions that are kind of, they're stretch goals, correct?
Yeah.
Well, we've got some stretch goals. We also have some that are just like expansions that you can get added on to the base game.
Okay, yeah.
We were really excited because right now there's a special event going on in the comics called Shattered Grid.
Oh, yeah.
Which is super awesome, and it's like all the Rangers from like a multiverse, kind of like the Infinite Crisis type events that DC Comics does, right?
Yeah.
It was big, and it's that for all of the Power Ranger series. And they've got like a big badass villain going on, and we've got a chance to use all of that stuff, and we've got Mastodon Troopers, we got the Black Dragon, we got Ranger Slayer, and we have Lord Drakon as monsters in this big Shattered Grid expansion. And the heroes of that box, we have a full set of Ranger heroes, which is going to be the Hyperforce Rangers.
Yeah.
And I was super excited about that because, like, I love Power Rangers Hyperforce, and it was great to be able to watch Hyperforce and call it work.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like watching the Twitch stream and being like, yep, this is work.
Absolutely. No one can doubt you.
And my partner would be like, well, are you just watching videos? And I'm like, yes, diligently.
Research.
Yeah.
I have a notebook.
I mean, I did watch a lot of Power Rangers for research.
It's important to me as a game player to know that the creator of the game that I'm playing put as much heart into it that, say, like me as a fan. And so you guys are fans.
That's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's great for me too, but it's also incredibly nerve-wracking because like I don't want to disappoint people because I really care about this.
Yeah.
Well,
and so like
I'm going to be allowed to disappoint because we're all fans. No, but it's true. We're all fans, and working with Hasbro, they know everything about Power Rangers, and it's really an interesting experience because they will send over a sculpt. We're like, this is Goldar, and they're like, not quite. It is not quite Goldar. You forgot one of his feathers over here.
The texture is wrong. So the texture on his shoulder pads, right?
Yeah.
We actually had like our sculptor put in a slightly different, like it was kind of it was like a scaled texture originally. And they're like, no. It's got to be like beaten metal, like it's kind of pocked like this particular thing, and it was like that was
seen some stuff.
Super specific.
Yeah,
like,
they're experts,
Yeah,
which is what the fans deserve.
Yeah.
Because they're going to call
That
us out
kind
on
of
it too.
specificity.
Yeah, we want to respect the show and all the characters because everyone loves them. So.
And I mean, well, a big part of it though, also they were also very comfortable with us putting some twists on some characters.
Oh, cool.
Because like, I mean, you look at this Pudgy Pig figure that we have, and I'm like, oh, look at him, there he is.
Oh my
boy.
Can I
please.
touch him?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
This Pudgy Pig. So the final game will not come painted. We had a painter do these for the display pieces to show what can be done.
Yeah.
We made these models
Is this essentially like kind of a finalized version?
That is the final sculpt.
Okay.
Yeah, but
it's super light.
Yeah, well,
that's very
I think
cool.
that's a
the
resin.
final material, but it's the final shape.
Yeah, final shape. The material is going to be like this Goldar, roughly this
cool.
plastic weight.
All right.
So yeah, we had a painter go in. We actually wanted to make these really painter-friendly generally in the design.
Yeah, like the Rangers, they're really simple. It helps that they're oversized, so you have more room to paint.
Exactly.
But like for the Pink Ranger, you need pink and white, a little bit of black.
Yeah.
But to help
like
you
a
guys
wash.
even more, to put the final touches on it.
Yep.
But we're going to be releasing painting tutorial videos
Oh
to
my
help out
gosh.
all of the newbies.
That is so cool.
Yeah, so I need that.
There's going to be extended content for
Yeah.
this. That's awesome.
To support everyone who's supporting us.
Yeah, that is so cool.
But so like with Pudgy Pig, right? This is not how he looked in the show.
No.
Right? Like he, proportionally, like he was more of like a dude in a giant rubber suit.
Yeah.
So like when we were working with the sculptures and all that, we'd be like, all right, here's how they looked in canon. Based on this, but use these other concepts, other models. Like we use like Sugar Man from X-Men, like who's also a giant head with like beefy arms.
Yeah.
We're like, all right, so instead of having like hooves and like human hands attached to the hooves that are just sticking out of the sleeves, we gave him like these big human thumbs, which makes him really unsettling. He's really freaky. Danny has some
I really.
Every time he shows up in the Slack channel, like Danny's like, I'll be right back. I'm gonna take a break.
I'll be right back.
Barf emoji.
But yeah, so like we got to go in and be like, all right, how do we remember them looking? How do we remember this feeling?
Yeah.
And we were making these alterations. We're making them like a little more dramatic, a little, pushing their proportions a lot more. And Hasbro's been super supportive of that. They've been like, yeah, no, do it, rock on. And it kind of makes sense because that's been what they're doing with the comics right now too, like bringing it to a more modern thing. It feels kind of like how I felt about Pacific Rim.
Oh, okay.
Which, Pacific Rim looks like what I thought Godzilla looked like when I was a kid. Okay. I mean, I love Godzilla. I still love Godzilla.
Yeah.
But like, when, those rubber suits are rubber suits.
Yeah, let's be real here.
And like, I love them and I can suspend my disbelief. But when like Gypsy Danger came out into the rain in like the high def and the IMAX screen, I like literally wept during Pacific Rim.
Closet, Mike.
Oh God, it was. I mean, sorry. So that is the kind of nostalgia that I want to lean into.
Yeah.
That like this is the feeling of it, right? Like I want to, because we're adults. We've had a lot of life experiences, but I want to bring us back to.
What is this word, adult?
Of course, yes.
Adults?
We're all professionals here.
Yeah.
No. I make board games for a living. I don't know what you're talking about. No.
I talk about them all day long.
For our audience, what are you most excited for people to play about the game, like the mechanics and stuff like that? Because it's a board game. It's got minis, but it's also got card decks and characters that you're playing with.
So what I love about these card decks is that we've basically given each ranger a very unique kit. A very unique combat set. So every ranger has a deck of combat cards that represents their abilities and their temperament.
Yeah.
So like Billy has a lot of defensive abilities and is very tactical. Jason, the Red Ranger, is the leader, so he's got a lot of like good lead the charge and support powers. Pink Ranger has her power bow, she can snipe things out. Like every ranger has a completely unique array of skills that represent their abilities, which was tricky because unlike in Dungeon Crawler or something, Power Rangers don't have those classic tank, DPS, healer builds. So we build them off of their personas and like what they bring emotionally to the ensemble. And it was a real treat to be able to give each ranger a unique array of abilities. And that's kind of, a grid-based tactic system is about position, right?
Yeah.
Or it's about particular. The different elements that you're playing with aren't really the same things you do with Power Rangers, right? Because Power Rangers, you want this cool karate, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's got special moves and power weapons and all that. We really wanted to push each ranger's fighting style and each ranger's kind of colorfulness.
Yeah.
Beyond their being very colorful.
Yeah.
But that and the monsters as well, each of them behave in completely unique ways. Each monster has its unique set of ability cards, how they behave and how tough they are.
Yeah.
They're pretty tough. Because Power Rangers has such a unique array of creatures, right? We didn't want them to just be like, oh, this one has a lot of health. And this one attacks twice as often or anything like that. Raw. We wanted to give them really unique gimmicks and weird mechanics. And the way we've extracted this combat system, it lets us kind of play. It's kind of based on things like Grandia, honestly.
Okay.
A big inspiration for our system was JRPGs. The way they create these interesting combat puzzles, and having a bunch of these interacting enemy cards.
Yeah.
And it's like, what order do you hit them in? How, which one do you let hit you? No, but the unique combat decks and how they interact and how the players can deal with that puzzle, I'm super excited about because we've given each ranger their own set of tools and we've made each monster a unique set of problems for them to deal with.
Yeah.
I think that's what adds a lot of the emotion and drama to the game because in a demo earlier today, Jason, the Red Ranger's ability is to let another member of the team re-roll any number of dice that they want. And there was one rule where the poor person rolled all blanks. They got 0 hits. And we immediately were like, Jason, help us!
Yeah.
So he led the team to victory, boosted
Gave him a
us
pep
up.
talk, you know, it was very... Yeah, players create a lot of fun stories with this, like particularly on the board, right? Like, you get to kind of just arrange them however you want, so long as they're in the right location.
You can create the drama of the scene if you want.
Yeah, I see people avoiding this little pond in the park. They're like, oh no, we can't go in the water.
That's fun. You can't.
They really ham it up, and it's wonderful.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Young players too, it's sweet. Like Kim has her bow posed, and this little boy, he posed her against Madame Woe, so the arrow was like right in her chest. He's like, you're going down, lady. It's awesome.
It was good. But yeah, like I'm really thrilled with the system that we've come to. Like it took a lot of designs around the cutting room floor before we came to this.
What version of the game would you say? Like 10, 11, 12?
I would say this is probably the 8th iteration of the core system. Like there was a whole dice game in there. There was like a whole like everyone shared cards. There was a real-time game at one point.
Oh wow!
Oh, man.
That one was short-lived, but very wacky.
Yeah.
But it was. We went out a lot of directions. We tried a lot of things until we came to this.
That's good. I mean,
and it's
to
not
find
really
what works.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not like that much else that's out there, which makes it hard for me to explain it to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I'm doing my best, and I really.
Well, I mean, it's easier when when we were playing the game yesterday. I mean, it was complex, but it was easy enough to be able to sit, like friends can sit down and go, okay guys, let's figure out the rules.
No, but our goal with this one was to really encapsulate the core morals of Power Rangers. So it's all about teamwork, collaboration, and it's family friendly, it's accessible. So it's not too hard to pick up, and everyone has fun working together.
So, I mean, where can our audience get more information?
Yes. You can go to renegadegames.com/Power Rangers. Power-Rangers.
Yeah. I should tell people that.
Yeah.
And then you have a Kickstarter going, and so that's full strong until September 6th.
Yep.
One more question, and it's the most important one that I've asked throughout this whole interview.
Yes.
What are your favorite Power Rangers?
I can pick multiple, or no?
Oh, man.
Not just one, go.
Just one?
Yeah, just one.
Just get the one.
Okay.
It has to be.
Oh, man. My favorite is our blue guy right here, Billy Cranston. I identify a lot with his dweebiness and his overalls. And then the one episode where he gets super buff. I'm a big fan.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you know, in the show, like, the actor was super buff, but they had to dress him down.
Yeah.
And then finally they got sick of it, so they just had like, hey, Tommy, you want to like take Billy to the gym? One episode later, he's like, shows up.
Love it.
It's like, yeah, so for me, it's got to be Adam Park. Second Black Ranger, my boy, like, oh man, I was super thrilled. Like, I already loved the Black Ranger, right? Like, Zach was great, but then like, and when he left, I was like, oh no. And then Adam Park showed up, I was like, oh yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh man.
Oh, yes.
Cool Asian American Power Ranger, like, yes, with an axe. Oh, man.
Lead the charge. Is there anything else that, like, social media that you would like our audience to know about?
Yes. You can talk to me on social media, Twitter @PlayRenegade, on Instagram, Renegade Game Studios, Facebook, Renegade Game Studios. Yeah, we're all over the place, and we're happy to share your excitement.
That is awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it. I'm so glad that our audience is going to get a chance to see this, check out the Kickstarter, check out your guys' website, social media. We'll include all those links.
I'm Danny Lowe. I'm the marketing manager for Renegade Game Studios.
And I'm Jonathan Ying, and I designed Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid. Thanks for watching Nerd On.
Yes.
Oh, we did it.
Nailed it.
Nerd On.
Oh man, God, that's gonna be an awful blooper reel.
Thanks, guys.